Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well. Just cracking on with captions off the annoying. Just cracking on with the Book of Enoch, Part Two. I'm banned from our Bible. Obviously, in Part One, heard about Enoch, walk with God. Was the grandfather of Noah, possibly Gilgamesh. Trying to figure out the base story of that. In the Ethiopian Bible, removed from ours. Go and watch part one, really. We'll just continue on, part two.
God and happen in his own time. The sinners will perish, and the great and the good will continue to live in light, joy, and peace. The first section of the book describes the interaction of fallen angels with humanity. Semiramis forces the remaining 199 fallen angels to take human wives to bear them children. And Semjaza, who was their leader, said to them,
I am afraid that you will not really agree to do this deed, and I alone will have to pay the penalty for a great sin.
And they all answered him and said,
Let us all swear and all bind ourselves by mutual oaths not to abandon this plan, but to do this deed.
Then all together swore and bound themselves by mutual curses upon him. And they were 200 in all, who went down in the days of Jared to the top of Mount Hermon, and called it Mount Hermon, because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual oaths upon it. This leads to the creation of the Nephilim, or giants, as described in the book. And they became...
So, basically, if you didn't get that, it's 200 angels made a pact upon the top of the Mount Sinai, did he say that? Made a pact on top of the mountain to come to earth and betray God and take human women as wives and impregnate them and bear children, which led to the Nephilim, which is mentioned in the first chapter of Genesis. So that's basically the tale. They've made a pact here to go against God and to, as it said there, one of them. They've all got names like Raphael and Aziel, and that's the names of all these angels. That kind of name. They made a pact because the one he mentioned first didn't want to be punished by God alone, so to speak, for these sins. So they made a pact together. 200 of them come down, took women, married or slept with them, taught mankind everything you can imagine, and the shit show commenced from there.
Became pregnant and gave birth to great giants, whose height was 300 fits, who destroyed all the gains of men. There was real hell and chaos on earth. The book also discusses the decadent training of humans by fallen angels, most notably Azazel. And Azazel taught men to make swords, and knives, and shields, and breastplates, and made them acquainted with the metals of the earth, and with the art of working them, with bracelets, with ornaments, with the use of antimony, with the beautifying of the eyelids, with all kinds of precious stones, and with all colourings, and much.
So a lot of what we do there, it even said colouring the eyelids, women, makeup. Tattoos was another one, weapons of war, how to war. They pretty much taught mankind everything that we know today, in effect. It's how the explanation of how hunter-gatherer people who apparently trying to figure out fire and bashing stones together, how we developed to have a language and do everything that we come to do, and all the cultures. It could be, looking through at the Hebrew side of things, there's a big crack there about gold, and that they come to mine gold, and that's why we hold gold so dear, and that kind of makes sense as well, to be honest. But yeah, the angels came down and taught us everything you can imagine, even makeup and jewelry and tattoos, war, you name it, that the angels taught it.
Wickedness arose, and they committed fornication, and went astray, and became corrupt in all their ways. Semjaz taught enchantment and eradication, Armaros the resolution of enchantments, Barakijal astrology, Kokabel the constellations, Ezekiel the knowledge of clouds, Arakel the signs of the earth, Shamsul the signs of the sun, and Sariel the course of the moon. Then Michael, Uriel, Raphael and Gabriel appealed to God to judge the inhabitants of the world and the fallen angels. God sends Uriel to tell Noah about the coming cataclysm and what he must do. Then the Most High said,
Go to Noah and say to him on my behalf, hide yourself, and reveal to him the end that is coming, that the whole earth will be destroyed, and that a flood will come upon the whole earth and destroy everything that is on it. And now instruct him that he may be saved, and that his seed may be preserved for all the generations of the world.
God commands Raphael to imprison Azazel, gives Gabriel.
Yeah, as I say, this is a Book of Enoch, and all the angels, the fallen angel, are being named by name. It's all like Azazel and Raphael and that kind of name as well, as you heard. So yeah, this is again, it's telling you in great detail what one passage in our Bible, in Genesis 6.4 possibly, about the Nephilim. One passage 3 lines long possibly. This is a book of great detail in them 3 passages. 3 lines, sorry.
Real instructions regarding the Nephilim and commands Michael to bind the fallen angels. Book of Proverbs. Chapters 37 to 71 of the Book of Enoch are called the Book of Proverbs. Here, the scholarly debate centers on the thesis that it is based on the Book of the Watchers, as a supplement in which it presents the later development of the idea of the final judgment and eschatology, dealing not only with the fate of the fallen angels, but also with of the wicked kings of the earth. What is interesting about this book is that the expression Son of Man is used for the eschatological hero, who is also called Righteous One, Elect One, and Messiah, sitting on the throne of glory at the final judgment. The first known use of Son of Man as a specific title in the Hebrew Scriptures is in the Book of Enoch, and its use may have played a role in the early Christian understanding and use of the title.
The ancient Egyptians.
So there as well, here's more stuff on the pyramid. So there as well, it's saying that in the Book of Enoch as well was one of the first references to the Son of Man, and again it's crazy in a way that this book's been taken out, but it's also crazy what's in the book, so that's kind of why it was taken out. But I'll just get rid of this advert. The pyramids. That could be an interesting documentary there, or whatever that advert's for. Christ almighty, I'm never saying that.
The Astronomical Book. 4 fragmentary editions of the Astronomical Book were found at Qumran. They also include material not found in later versions of the Book of Enoch. This book contains descriptions of the movement of the heavenly bodies, as well as knowledge of the cosmos, revealed to Enoch on his journeys to heaven, guided by Uriel. It describes the solar calendar, which was later also described in the Book of Jubilees used by the Dead Sea sect. The year was composed of 364 days, divided into 4 equal seasons of 91 days each. Each season consisted of 3 equal months of 30 days each, plus 1 extra day at the end of the 3rd month. Thus, the whole year consisted of exactly 52 weeks. Each year and each season always began on Wednesday, which was the 4th day of creation as told in Genesis, the day on which the lights in the sky, the seasons, the days, and the years were created. The book Dreams. It contains visions of Israel's history, all the way back to what most interpret as the Maccabean revolt, dated to the Maccabean period around 163 to 142 BC. According to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, it was written before the biblical flood. The book continues with visions and allegorical accounts of Israel's history, in which animals are used as symbols of human beings and people as symbols of angels. The Message of Enoch. Scholars date this manuscript to somewhere around 170 BC. The book is divided here into 5 subsections. Apocalypse of the Weeks. This subsection tells the story of the world using a structure of 10 periods called weeks, 7 of which relate to the past and 3 to future events. The climax is in the 7th part of the 10th week, when
A new heaven shall appear,
Then a new heaven shall appear, and there shall be many weeks without number until the age, and all shall be in goodness and righteousness. Exhortation. This short list of exhortations to follow righteousness spoken by Enoch to his son Methuselah is a bridge to the next subsection. Epistle. The first part of the epistle describes the wisdom of God, the final reward of the righteous, and the punishment of the wicked, and the two separate paths of righteousness and unrighteousness. Then there are 6 oracles against sinners, the testimony of all creation against them, and the assurance of the fate after death. The birth of Noah. This part appears in the Qumran fragments, separated from the previous text by a blank line, thus appearing as an appendix. It tells about the flood and about Noah, who was born with the appearance of an angel. Conclusion. This application is not found in Qumran and is considered to be the work of the last redactor. It emphasizes the generation of light in opposition to sinners doomed to darkness. Why is this ancient Bible book neglected and even banned by official religion when it contains so much history about our roots? What else does she say? It has already become clear that one of the reasons for the banning of the book is most likely due to the fact that at the very beginning it begins with a warning to mankind describing the divine judgment that will meet all those unworthy of salvation. The following is the explanation of how the bloodthirsty giants, also called Nephilim, who roamed the earth, described in Genesis, appeared. They also serve as an excuse for the flood, but God still warned Noah and saved the people. The accounts of Enoch's travels through the kingdoms of heaven, which detail the powers of heaven and the cruelty that awaits depraved people, are also likely to be disliked. Wasn't the church's problem rooted in the fact that it scared the faithful into having such detailed information? And maybe some facts in this information are inconvenient. The book directly and openly talks about strange creatures with advanced technology that visited our Earth. They shared their technology with their hybrid offspring, which was a huge detriment to humanity. The book describes very clearly how and why all evidence of this was wiped out by the Great Flood. One thing is for
So as we've been saying there, the Great Flood, I've said before, and I showed the film 2012, and a flood of such magnitude would completely destroy everything in its path, and given the sands of time, it would all be gone. And the only thing that would remain would be something like the pyramid, and obviously we've got the Bosnia pyramid. I'll do another video on that as well. That's covered in dirt and trees and looks like a mountain, and there's ones near it exactly the same, and that again, it's the aftermath of a flood, and everything settled, all the dirt settled, and then eventually trees and grass grew. And it all makes a lot of sense. It all makes perfect sense, to be honest. But as it mentioned there, things that came down from the heavens that shared their technology. Technology was a word used there. And we'll go into now, just here on the right, Giants, the Ark, and the Great Flood of the Y-Files. And he talks in this of when Enoch goes to the heavens. Is he in effect in a spaceship? Has he been took up in an alien craft? And is he, when he's saying he can see the moon's rotation and all this kind of crap, it kind of in a way does kind of sound like he's been took in a spaceship and shown the solar system and the rotation of the planets, and going into a city in the sky, which is just a ship full of people, a lot of people in the sky. It all kind of sounds like it could be an alien a spaceship in a way. I'd never really thought of it that way, to be honest, till I was watching this last night, the Y-Files, and I thought, Christ, he's maybe right in a way there as well. So I'll just play the end of this, then we'll move on to the Y-File thing about is Enoch in a spaceship in effect. And when he walked with God and was took to heaven without dying, he just went in a spaceship, you know what I mean?
Sure, there is something in this book that bothers a lot of people. Is this not evidence of ancient aliens visiting Earth? Who and how did Enoch ascend and descend on his journeys to heaven and back? Can we assume that these were extraterrestrials, and that Enoch was in contact with one of the sovereigns of this society? Answers to which no one is looking for the answers today. At least not overtly, because these...
We're looking for the answers, mate. Don't worry. We're trying to find out the crack. Don't get me wrong. We won't be told by the world, obviously.
Writings have been denied and branded as apocryphal. All we have to do is read between the lines and wait for the day when the truth will be revealed to us.
That's the thing, yeah. Wait for the day when the truth will be revealed, either way. So yeah, let's move on to the Y-Files, and is Enoch in a spaceship? Hold on. So here we are with the Y-Files, as everyone should know by now. Very good channel, Hecklefish. Just accept him for the fish he is. He can be quite amusing at times. Yeah, so still going on with the Book of Enoch here, and some interesting, again, just the Y-Files here, again, bringing some interesting topics. It'll jump straight into it. Was Enoch the first alien abduction, so to speak?
Apocryphal and not part of the Bible. Apocryphal is a nice way of saying it's fake. Some even consider the Book of Enoch to be heresy, a crime against God. When you read the book, you can understand why. Enoch may actually be the first case of alien abduction ever documented. One evening, there's a strange sound above Enoch's village. It's not thunder or wind. It's a sound that seems to make the air and earth vibrate. It's a sound that can be felt. The villagers cautiously come out of their homes and see a bright orb of light hovering just above the trees. Slowly, the sphere of light descends upon the village. The townspeople are terrified, but Enoch hears a voice tell
again, like a humming sort of, like, it kind of sounds like a spaceship, doesn't it, in a way, like a craft, something hovering above them. But it's we just being described something that they didn't have the language for, you know what I mean? It was mystifying to them, this alien craft or this spaceship. So it was just said chariots of fire and things like this, because there were lights possibly.
Tell him to not be afraid. Enoch then ascends to heaven, escorted by a celestial being named Uriel. Something similar happens to the prophet Elijah in 2 Kings. Elijah is physically taken to heaven in what he calls a chariot of fire.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. What?
It's easy to see that a man living thousands of years ago would describe a rocket or a spacecraft as a chariot of fire.
Do 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 do.
That's enough.
Okay, sheesh, what a grouch.
In Abrahamic religions, souls of the righteous go to heaven after death. Maybe Jesus takes them by the hand, maybe they follow a loved one through the light, or maybe they just arrive there. This is not what happens to Enoch. Like Elijah, Enoch is physically taken to heaven and writes down everything he sees. He doesn't write this from memory. He's literally walking around with Uriel writing things down. He was instructed to do so by God. And although Enoch describes this journey in religious language, he's also pretty scientific. He describes seeing mountains below. He sees every river on earth. He describes seeing how the winds are made, possibly referring to cloud formations. Enoch sees all of this as divine, but his account could be referring to technology. A smartphone would seem supernatural to someone living thousands of years ago. A spaceship would be incomprehensible. When Enoch arrives in heaven,
The mothership.
he's shown a bunch of doors. He calls them 12 gates. Each door has a name and a purpose. He sees beings walking in and out of the doors, going about their business. Enoch calls these beings angels and archangels. Like Uriel, they radiate light. It's been suggested that these beings could be holographic projections. Though they're extremely bright, Enoch can see through them. Enoch is then taken on a tour of the cosmos. He travels the galaxy. He's shown the movement of celestial bodies. He's told about man's place in the universe. Uriel teaches Enoch about the solar system. He's told the length of an Earth year is 364 days. He's shown the lunar cycle. He's shown how constellations move across the sky. This is interesting because the Book of Enoch was written thousands of years before many of these discoveries were made. Now, you would think that there would be nothing above heaven, but wherever Enoch is, this place has a ceiling. Enoch specifically calls it a lofty roof. Enoch is taken to a giant room full of plants that he doesn't recognize. Uriel calls it one of the storehouses of nature. Now, this could be an arboretum humans finally travel through space, there will definitely be gardens on their ships. Enoch is shown an object with writing on it he calls the Book of Life. He says this records all the deeds of man.
It sounds like the angel works for the FBI.
Right. The Book of Life is essentially a database of surveillance records. There's a room for the wicked. Enoch describes it as a place of torture and mutilation. But this room has also been interpreted as where alien abductees endure experiments. Finally, Enoch enters the room with the throne of God. He said there's no way to describe or comprehend him. He averts his eyes. God tells Enoch the secrets of the angels and the nature of the universe. He shows Enoch the different dimensions of existence. He shows Enoch visions of the past, present, and the future. And that's when Enoch finally learns why he was summoned and told to write everything down. God needs a witness. He needs someone to describe what heaven and hell are like. Someone whose words will be passed down for generations so mankind has a written record of the afterlife. God.
Yeah, and then the throw it out of our Bible, the beauty of that. So it is the Bible all about God and worshipping God, and God's told Enoch to write this all down so everybody knows the crack, and then they remove it from the Bible. Yeah, I mean, that's Earth for you, that's Earth.
God also needs Enoch to deliver a message to some of God's angels on Earth. And the message is not good news.
Hey there. If you're here, it's...
Hi, DNA Strand here when we're talking about alien genetics and all this kind of crack. It all fits together. It all fits together. So yeah, he also had to give a message to the angels from God, the fallen angels, the 200 fallen angels, Aziel, Raphael, whatever they are. They are, I think all 200 are named in the Book of Enoch. Every one of them is named. And the message was obviously that the flood was coming. It was all over for the angels, would likely be the message.
In the early days of the world, God sent 200 angels to Earth. Their purpose was to observe and guard humanity. They became known as the Watchers. Typically, angels are considered spiritual beings, but in the Book of Enoch, the Watchers are physical entities. They're described as large humanoids, some with wings, and they radiate so much light that it's difficult to look directly at them. The Watchers taught humans how to cultivate crops.
Could they be the orbs that we see and we talk about that are from another dimension that's been said? The orbs could just be before they take a sort of physical form in effect. But it's said that Noah or Gilgamesh, although I don't know if it's said of Gilgamesh, but it is said of Noah, that he radiated light and he was like one of these things in effect, or could he have been a demigod? Who knows what we're trying to figure out here. It's a long time ago, and it's a fascinating story, to be honest. It's the greatest story ever told, and it could be even greater when we figure out what it actually is. But yeah.
Crops and create pottery. They taught humans about medicine and curing illness. The Watchers taught humans about astronomy and astrology. In ancient Sumerian texts, which Enoch is probably based on, 300 beings are sent to Earth from palaces in the sky. These beings are called the Observers. They too help humanity take a great leap forward.
So yeah, it's Sumerian. Again, that's the Epic of Gilgamesh is Sumerian. It's the tale of Noah. And is it all just written from the original Sumerian texts? And if that is the case, then it is. I think it is an alien crack here. But yeah, that's kind of what we're trying to work out. But it's very interesting that this Epic of Gilgamesh is in effect the Noah story, and every culture has this story. Are we all just telling the same tale and we've changed it?
We see this story in ancient cultures all over the world. Advanced beings come down from the sky and bring humanity the gift of civilization. In the Book of Enoch, the Watchers helped humanity advance quickly and civilization spread. But the Watchers became vain and proud. They were instructed by God to withhold certain knowledge from man. The Watchers ignored these instructions. The Watchers taught men how to create new metals for weapons. They taught men how to harness fire and wage war. They taught women witchcraft and alchemy. The Watchers revealed the secrets of the heavens and changed the course of human development.
They violated the Prime Directive.
They did. This transfer of knowledge was a double-edged sword. While it propelled humanity forward, it also brought about corruption, a deviation from God's order. The corruption didn't just affect men, it affected...
Oh, hold on. We seem to have an incident. Yeah, it's like mankind was never... We were never meant to be as even... and like this could be for modern times now. It could be a sort of a cause for the end of time, the end of world. We were never meant to be this advanced, and we only ever got here because these people taught us all the things that they were never supposed to tell us. And the earth would have been a much nicer place probably had they not, but everything that's developed in modern times and the knowledge we have in modern times and the technology, it's kind of what we're being told here, it's kind of forbidden for us. So could that be a cause for the end of time as well? It's just we keep reaching levels of technology that they don't want us to be at, be it gods or be it aliens, but we seem to go around in this circle. But forbidden knowledge here, and we still use the forbidden knowledge today.
Affected the Watchers as well. The Watchers were spending more and more time with human women.
Uh-oh, this isn't gonna end well.
The Watchers became lustful.
Told ya.
Then they started taking human women as wives for themselves.
And the angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. Enoch chapter 6, verse 1.
This part of the Enoch story has been interpreted as the human-alien hybridization program developed by the Anunnaki in Sumerian texts. In those stories, human women weren't being taken as wives, they were just being taken, abducted and used as incubators for a new species. This union of celestial and mortal bloodlines gave birth to a race of giants, the Nephilim. Another ancient text found in the Dead Sea Scrolls was called the Book of Giants. This book, along with the Book of Enoch, described the Nephilim as creatures of immense size and strength and immense cruelty. The Nephilim brought even more corruption and violence to the world. Torn between divinity and humanity without a home in either, they go insane. Soon they turn on humans and torture anyone they can find. The Nephilim needed to consume so much food that eventually they began feeding on human flesh. Humans are helpless to stop these advances. Many are enslaved by the powerful Nephilim. Many more are killed. Then a few humans decide to follow the example set by the Watchers. They think if angels can torture and kill and enslave and sleep with whoever they want, why can't we? Then the world becomes filled with people like this. Soon, God can't tell who's a Nephilim and who isn't. Enoch delivers the message to the Watchers, to the Nephilim, and to all mankind. Repent for your sin or suffer the wrath of God. Enoch's warning is ignored. He's brought back to heaven where he begs God to help save the earth. So God makes a decision. The earth has become so corrupt and so foul that it needs to be reset. He will cause an event so cataclysmic that everything and everyone will be killed. Humans, angels, Nephilim, all of it, gone. But one man and his family will be spared. The only man who can't be corrupted. The only man who could be trusted to restart civilization. Enoch's great-grandson, Noah. But here's the thing. There's a lot more to Noah than we've been told. In the Book of Enoch, we get the full story.
So yeah, I'll maybe continue this in another part, and again, it's very interesting indeed, and yeah, the Nephilim and the Book of Enoch, and it's just been removed from the Bible, and he mentioned there the Book of Giants, which you could have a look at as well. We've been talking of the giants, and just fascinating, to be honest, fascinating, and where's the truth? There's some truth in there, and well, let's find it, I'll leave it there for part 2, peace.